Breaking news we're following this afternoon. In less than 2 months, the U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide whether Donald Trump can be prosecuted on charges he interfered with the 2020 election. Now, justices have decided to take up the case and will consider whether the former president is immune from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during his tenure in office. Today's order keeps Trump's prosecution in the January 6th case on hold. A decision is expected no later than the end of June. And let's go ahead and bring in Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes.
Now, Khalif, I have a short question. I know you're going to give me a long answer because you got a lot to say. But what is your reaction?
Why? That's my biggest reaction is what, why, and how is this happening? I mean, Jack Smith filed this petition for them to make this decision last year. The Supreme Court sat on his hand and didn't make a decision until today.
Right.
And the question presented, that's what they will make a determination on. Anytime you go before the Supreme Court, they're narrowly tailoring their decision to one question. And this is the question presented is whether and if so, to what extent does a former president enjoy presidential immunity from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during his tenure in office? Obviously, that will touch on Jack Smith's case. That will touch on the case in D.C. And so this has ramifications that go far beyond just that one case. And so my answer to why was the district court judge, federal district court judge, said that no, the president doesn't have anything in the Constitution that grants them immunity. A court of appeals, a 3-panel court of appeals, 2 Democrats and one Republican came back and had a 90-plus page opinion where they said not at all. They unanimously agreed that there was not a chance at all. And so now this court, and you need at least 4 to grant cert, has decided that we're going to hear this case, and we'll hear it right on the eve, April 22nd, right in the midst of primary season, which I am confused. That's my why.
Well, you know, and one part of Trump's argument here is that he can sit there and order an assassination of a political rival by SEAL Team 6 and be immune from it. And how does that help the candidates, the run for the White House now?
Well, that was the question that was the hypothetical that was asked in the Court of Appeals, and you could see all of the justices at the time kind of chuckled like, why would you assume that's something you could do, and point to me in the Constitution where it gives you that authority. I think this is a win for sure for President Trump and his campaign. People that are on his side will say that now we can delay, and now it would be even harder for you to have a trial. Why? Because Chuckin in the D.C. case has already delayed that trial for a number of times. And so if the Supreme Court hears his case in April, they probably will not come back with a decision until July or June. And so if she wants to give him reasonable time to prepare for a trial, November, October, December, I mean, when?
The timing of all this. I mean, just as you mentioned, I mean, Super Tuesday is next Tuesday. That looking at the primaries or where we are, the decisions that could come in the summer, but going into the general election in November, how likely, I know you talked about the calendar, but how likely could it be that it could happen before the general election?
Unlikely. I don't think that it happens in terms of him having a trial in the D.C. case specifically. That's who's up first. I don't think that would happen if they make a decision fast. And there is history with them making a decision fast. The most recent and the most analogous I can look at is the Nixon case. Nixon and the Watergate scandal. I know we're taking it back a little bit, but if you look at that case, they heard that case, and he had 4 appointees on the court at that time. It was an 8-0 decision because one had to recuse himself, and they ruled against him. And so they do make decisions that are outside of party lines, but they heard the case and made a decision in 3 weeks. And so you can get a quick decision when it has political ramifications. I'm just not sure if this court in this era will be cognizant of what larger scale ramifications. I know they are aware, but the court, like you mentioned, Brian, in the beginning, we can make a decision whenever we feel like it, and you guys will have to deal with the consequences later.
Yeah, and we'll see in all these cases that are pushed back, and the Trump's argument going into the presidential campaign is going to be, hey, you can't do this during a presidential election. You can't have any kind of
The argument has changed. The goalpost has moved now.
That's what I think, too, because, I mean, if you think about it first, too, when we start talking about Trump in these cases, we would also reference Watergate. I mean, this is unprecedented. You've never had this before. So I think that's the best way to be able to, as a producer is saying, rap in our ear, but to be able to finish this conversation.
For sure. I can say Nixon is 100% analogous, and this is right into Trump's alley. Delay, the ultimate delay today.
All right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks. Let's talk